got this cut out, kind of tacked in. I cut it too small, but and I started moving on to this side. Had a whole bunch of rust in here, so I just welded a patch panel on it. I'll have to make another section here for this, and then I can put a panel in that. They had just fiberglass. They used some fiberglass tape and Bondo, and they just filled this whole thing. Left big old holes in it. You can see how big the hole is, 2 or 3 inches. But I'll tack that in, and it'll make that nice and strong. Started cleaning up the inside here a little. Now I stick that out of here with a rag, and got a lot of the mud and dirt, junk out of here. So I have to wash down the whole thing, but at least we're starting to get it cleaned. I hate cleaning, it takes forever. But I'll get it all cleaned up, and it looks like it was kind of red at one point, burgundy. So I think that's what I'll do, is paint all of this stuff inside burgundy. But anyway, I'll go ahead and weld up this patch and bring it back. That panel all cut up, welded in, and ground down. My patch didn't look too bad here. And I had almost the same patch on this side. This one I didn't cut too well. I still got a little welding to do on it to patch some of these holes. But both panels are in. Now I'm going to mix up some Bondo and see what I can do about cleaning this one up. I think it'll turn out all right. Both sides all Bondoed up. Looks like it's a little flat. It's going to take a little filling in there, but it's not too high, so I think it's got pretty good shape to it. And my patch covered up pretty nice. The same thing on this one. So a little sand and more Bondo. Along with this inside panel, I welded in a few more pieces. Kind of see it out here. I've got the this is all nice and flat, and this is 18 gauge sheet metal. I wanted 16, but or this is 16. I wanted 18, but it's real thick. It's probably just as well back here because it's kind of holding this whole piece together. I've just tack welded everything. There's really no need of doing anything like that. I think I'll probably throw a little Bondo in here and smooth it out, so the interior will look pretty good. It's actually not bad at all. I couldn't bend this stuff. All I got's a vise. I don't have a sheet metal brake, so when I got multiple bends like that, I just try to cut pieces and weld them together. But that's good enough for the inside. I cleaned that whole mess up. It was terrible before. At least it looks pretty decent now, and It's plenty good to put a little piece of carpet or something on it. I think I will put a little Bondo on it. Grind it down, knock off some of them high wells. And the gasket, the window gasket ought to seat in here pretty good. I still got a little grinding to do on it to clean it up. And I got one more piece here to cover up the bottom. I'm not exactly sure what I'll do there, but I will have to paint all of that stuff in there, so at least give it a chance to keep from rusting. I got this piece finally in. Got the back piece in yesterday. This is a 16 gauge sheet metal. I got the hole filled up here. I used a piece of this 18 gauge that I had. I was able to bend it, and it's filled in. I put a rod on it there, tack welded it, and this is 16 gauge here on top, this big thick piece. It's all welded in pretty good. I got a little more welding to do to make this round corner, but it's all kind of ground up, ready for Bondo. And so I'm gonna just finish welding this up, clean it up with the grinder here for the window channel, and throw a little Bondo on it, and I should be able to get this whole piece finished today. It don't look too bad under here. Yeah, it's got a couple little holes in it, but basically it's got good sheet metal in it and welded good. It's all primered inside. I think it'll be plenty good enough, and that'll allow me to get my window channel in and put the window in. And now I got a good solid piece here in the back. I can finish up this section here on the trunk and match that all up, and basically this whole trunk section is done. I'm going to put a couple patch panels on top of these vents. That big holes are going to stay there for now until I figure out some way of putting a door on it. But I'm not going to try to cut those out or anything, because they are adding a little strength to that curve. I might have enough of this. This is one decent piece of metal that was in there. I'm not going to use that old rusty stuff there, but I'll get some new 18 gauge sheet metal and patch those holes up. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about all this section here around the trunk. I think I'll get a piece of like 1/8 inch plastic or fiberboard or something. I'll fix that up. But for now, I'm going to move on to finishing up this and Bondo it. Should look all right. Got almost the exact shape. It's still kind of rough Bondo, but basically it's good enough to sand off and put a final coat. I can't get too carried away around the edges because I'm going to be welding there. But I got a nice curve in it. This all turned out pretty good across here. It's still flat in the middle, but I've got a curve this way in it. Follows the tailgate. So I think it's all pretty good. Should match. Anyway, it looks good here in Bondo. Pretty close. I'll let it dry and machine sand it, and then probably put another little skim coat on it. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just leave it alone for now till I get the trunk on and see what I got to do to it. But it all turned out pretty good. I don't have any caved in look to it, and so I think this is a good job. B+ on this window anyway. Started cleaning up the trunk area. I got some 20 gauge sheet metal. I'm going to make me a door for this. I welded some round in it so I don't cut my hand. I've got that all cleaned up and piece cut. I'll go ahead and tack weld this piece in, and I'll cover up this vent here and move along. Well, it's pretty much done. Put a couple thin coat of Bondo on it, sand it down. That's my last one. I'll just let that dry overnight. Looks like I got a little bit of low spot right in here, but it's all matching pretty good. Got a nice curve to it. Looks good. Made it a lot different than having those old louvers in there. Looks pretty straight. So I give that job an A. And another thin coat up here. A couple more coats of thin coats, and this will be done. Clean up this area right here. It's where I had my tail light, but I'll sort that all out, and I need to do something with that license plate there, and those backup lights are going to come out. Got a couple thin pieces of 22 gauge sheet metal, so I can fabricate something for that. But as far as the trunk goes, it looks real good. Well, move on to more stuff. We've got the Roadrunner here. Done. Ground off. I cut another piece here and tacked it in. They're not the same, but it's all right. Yeah, that one on the right comes out quite a bit more than the one on the left, but then we cut the Rambler apart, and I got a nice long roof piece here. Nice and flat and straight. Yeah, I'm gonna make this thing look real nice. So I'm sitting here looking at this and the back, and looks like I won't have any trouble really fabricating some kind of a plate around here, and clean up this whole rear end. It'll look pretty good, and I'll just bondo up the bottom of this fender. Yeah, it's starting to come together real nice. Yeah, I'm pleased with the way that patch turned out there. But I've been looking at that old ugly roof for so long. Now I got a good piece of metal to put in it. That'll be great. Here we go. It's in and ground off pretty much. This one. Pretty decent looking piece. Looks like I could grind on this one some more. But I can bondo all of that up. I was gonna kind of leave that weld marks for a rat rod look, but I think I'll just bondo it up and clean it up. It'll look a lot better. And it'll probably look a lot better with paint on it. I ought to take off that light so I can get down in there with a grinder. But I think it's good enough. That roof's going to look great. So it looks like the whole project's kind of coming along real well here in the back. Spent a lot of work on that front end, got it to look good. Let's make some more cover plates here. Clean up this back end. And another day of fabricating, and I think this one will be about as good as I can get it. I'll take out them backup lights and make the rest of this trunk here. Don't know exactly what I'll do, but I'll get it cleaned up and look good. Here's the back pretty much done. Patched up that corner. Welded in a center plate. This patch is all done. Still got some grinding. It's not it's a lot stronger than it was. It's really not strong enough for a bumper, but I'm gonna run some bars from someplace that's structural up in there back into this little 2-inch piece of channel. That should give it quite a bit more strength, but it really strengthened up the body a whole lot. And I use 16 gauge there in the middle. These other patch plates are 22 gauge, but they're good enough.